to Mahjong class. Today I'm going to talk about the card. Many of you asked to see the National Mahjong League card. For copyright infringement, I cannot show the card, but I can show some made-up hands and help you understand the card a little bit. Please purchase your card from the nationalmahjongleague.org. The first thing I want to go over is a quick review of the tiles and suits. If you need a more detailed description of the tiles and suits, please see Mahjong for Beginners #1 video. We play with 152 tiles. The first thing we have are flowers. There are 8 flowers in the set. Next are suits. We have 3 suits just like cards, but cards has 4, we have 3. So the first suit is BAMs. The second suit is cracks. And the third suit is dots. Each of the suits has matching dragons. The first is the green dragon. The second is the red. And the third is the white. Dragons, we have 4 of each of the dragons. The next grouping of tiles are the winds. We commonly and lovingly refer to them as news. North, east, west, and south. Each of these tiles we have 4 of. Our biggest and what everybody wants are the jokers. We have 8 jokers in this set. So that completes 152 tiles. Again, if you need more detail on that, please go to Mahjong class, Mahjong for Beginners video #1. Let's talk about the card. So I made up a card here. The card that we get from the National Mahjong League is 3 panels. So I have 3 panels here. It is divided by categories, which are common relationships to the number tiles that are grouped together by classification. For example, the first category is counting by 2s. That's your even numbers ascending order. The next category is counting by 3s. The categories are made up of hands. Here I've given 2 examples in each category of a hand that could be made. The minimum of 3 lines, but up to 10 different ones you can build from. Each hand is a sequence of numbers used in the category, which is in order, a list of those numbers. There is a pattern created with these number sequences, and there are rules that are predictable what comes next in order of how many of each number is grouped together and what should be used. Mahjong calls these groupings singles, 2 of a kind or pair, which is same number, same suit, 3 of a kind or Pung, same number, same suit, a Kong, which is 4 of a kind, same number, same suit, and a Quint, which is 5 of a kind, same number, same suit, or a sextet, which is 6 of a kind, same number, same suit. Now that we know what the groupings are called, let's talk about what suit should be used and what do these colors mean, blue, red, and green. So one color, as in the odds category right here, means that you have to use all one suit. So you could use cracks, BAMs, or dots, whatever you have in your hand. You must follow the pattern. If it's 2 colors, such as this one, in counting by 1s, you can use, again, any 2 suits, cracks, BAMs, and dots. So if we use cracks here, we can use BAMs or dots here. If you decide to use dots, this has to be dots and this has to be dots. When it's 3 colors, such as the one in counting by 2s, we have blue, red, and green. You have to use all 3 suits, but you must only use a suit once. So if you decide for the 2, 4, 6 to use cracks, the 8s must be in bams and dots. The color does not indicate what suit to use. You may choose from any of the 3 suits. Where the numbers match, so for example, here 4 and 5 are in the same color, you must use the same suit. This is true for dragons also. As example down in here, the dragons are in blue and so are the numbers. Therefore, you have to use the matching dragon to that suit. Finding and completing one of the hands composed of 14 tiles, each of these hands are composed of 14 tiles, will give you a winning hand at Mahjong. At the beginning of the game, you are dealt 13 tiles. During the game, it's a pick and discard, just like when you play cards. However, you're working towards building one of the 60 hands that are on the National Mahjong League card, which can be made into 750 ways by using different suits. Your last tile that you pick up, you will not discard, and that will give you the 14th tile to win the hand of Mahjong. Each hand on the card is a picture of exactly how to create the hand. You must be the first person to complete it as shown to win Mahjong. Let's talk on how you will do this and what will go where. This is where the number patterns and sequence comes in. Numbers are repeated in a predictable manner that follow a certain sequence, which is an order. Just like you learned in grammar school when we learned star, star, triangle, star, and then the teacher asked what comes next, would be star. Let's talk about what it would look like. Mixed into some of these patterns and sequences are dragons and flowers. Flowers will always be in blue. They are suit neutral. Each line on the card has parentheses after the pattern, helping you understand how to build the hand. I did not include parentheses in my example, but on the card it will tell you. I'm going to explain it here. So let's talk about counting by 2s. That's in this grouping, you're going to use your even number tiles, 2, 4, 6, and 8. The next thing you have to do is follow the pattern. And we're going to do the first one here. It says you need a pair of 2s. So I decided to start it with 2 dots. Then it says the 4s, since I chose dot suit, must match my 2s. So I need a pung of 4s in dots. That's 3 of a kind. Then it mentions now we need a kong of 6s. Since we use the dot suit, we now can use cracks or bams. I have to have 4 6s in cracks or bams. I happen to have 6 cracks, a kong of 6 cracks. Next it says, since I used cracks for these 6s, I have now to continue the pattern color, and I have to use the number 8. And in this example, I need a quint of 8s. And if you recall, we only have 4 8s in the suit of cracks. So now I must include a joker in the 8 cracks. To complete this, just like in bingo, how you yell bingo for the win, we yell Mahjong when our tiles are completed and we have all 14 tiles. Our next example is counting by 3s. Now we are in the counting by 3s category. So that would be 3, 6, 9. So let's look at this second hand here that's made up of 14 tiles. Again, remember you're picking and discarding the whole game. So you're getting rid of the tiles you don't want and you're keeping the 3, 6s, and 9s. Then we chose to build this hand. I decided to start with a pair of 3 bams. Since the 3 and 6 are in the same color, I have to keep them the same suit. So I have bams. Now I have to make my pair of 6s in bams also. One thing you also need to ask yourself is how many suits do I need to complete this hand? It is 3 colors, which means you need to use 3 suits. Now I did my pair of threes, my pair of sixes in one suit. Now it changes color, and now I have to change the suit. I can use cracks or dots. In this case, in my hand, I had dots. I need a pung, three of a kind, of 3 dots. Next, I will use sixes. But since the threes and sixes are in the same color on the card, they need to be the same suit. So since I did threes and dots, my sixes must be in dots, and I need a pung of sixes. Then finally, it changes color once more to blue. And now I have to use the unused suits. I used dots and bams. Now I have to use cracks. And I need a Kong of 9 cracks, which is 4 of a kind. Now the hand is complete, and if I completed it with all 14 tiles, I now would claim Mahjong at the table, and I would win that game. Let's talk about counting by odds. So that's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Remember, we only go up to 9. Now we're going to include our dragons. So we're going to need all one suit. First question you ask yourself is how many suits? It's all one color, all one suit. That means that whatever suit we use, the dragon has to match. So it starts off with a pair of threes, and I chose the bam suit. Then it wants you to have a Kong of 5s. Since we have the bams, it has to be a Kong of 5 bams. Then we have a pair of 7s, a single 9, and a Kong of green dragons, which is the matching dragon to the bam suit. Again, I have 14 dials presented, and I have all of them in the correct order, and I would say I have Mahjong and have a winning hand for this game. What we want to talk about in this particular hand is where can we use jokers? Remember, you can't use jokers with a pair, so not with the threes. You can use jokers with a Kong. How many? Up to 4. So in this case, I could have used 2 jokers here, but I can have a grouping of all jokers to represent my 5 bams. My pair of 7s, no jokers. A single, no jokers. In my Kong of green dragons, I can use up to 4 jokers. So I can take 1 out and just put a joker. This would still be a valid hand because I have all the tiles represented, even if they're with jokers, and the jokers are placed in the correct groupings. Our next grouping is called counting by ones. Again, the titles I am using are not the exact titles that are used on the National Mahjong League card, but they are quite similar in patterns. So counting by ones means just counting by ones in ascending order. So we're going to look at the second line here, and we're going to introduce flowers. It says we need 3 flowers. Flowers are suit neutral. They go with all suits. So here are my 3 flowers. Then it says I need the numbers 4, 5, 6, 7 in 3 different colors. So that means I need to have 3 different suits. But in the counting by ones category, you don't have to use the numbers 4, 5, 6, 7. You may choose to use any 4 numbers for this hand that you want. Remember, we only go up to number 9. So 9, 8, 7, 6. We only could start with 6, 7, 8, 9. But for this example, I'm going to change it and use the number 3. This is a taxing on your brain. And this is why Mahjong is so good for you. It's sending new pathways. Your brain wants to put 3 4s down or a pung of 4s, but I'm going to change it and put a pung of 3s. Now, since I put 3s here, I do have to think what number comes next. So it would be 4. Then I also have to remember that I use cracks here, so I must use cracks here. So I need a pung of 4 cracks. The color changes. Now I need the next numerical number in my string that I'm creating. It is not 6. I need the number 5. Changing suit, I decided to use dots. I need a pung of 5 dots, 3 of a kind. And then finally, it calls for my last number. On the paper, it says 7. But remember, we changed the numbers. We started with 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6. We now need a pair of 6. The suit, since we use cracks and dots, is now going to be BAMs. And now I can claim Mahjong as a winning hand with 14 tiles. Next is the year category. The year category uses a number in the current year. And we are going to use the year 2021 as this is when the video is being made. But it would apply for any year in 2022, 2023, and so on. So first, let's look at this particular hand. They have dragons in red, and they have 2021 in green. We know that we need to use 2 different suits here. They cannot be matching. So we need to have 2 flowers, which we introduced last time. Then we need a dragon, and we have 3 different suits for the dragon. We have red, green, and white. And in this, and place the green dragons. And this, the year. And the way we make the year is 2021. That is the year. Now we need a 0. As I mentioned earlier, we use the white dragon, which is no longer the white dragon. It is now used as a 0. And the final grouping is the word news. We need 1 north, 1 east, 1 west, and 1 south, which spells the word news. Once this was completed, you would have Mahjong, a valid hand. Remember, we can use jokers. Where can we use jokers? When we make a pung, 3 of a kind, a kong, 4 of a kind, and a quint, and so on. In this example, I used 1 joker to represent a dragon that I did not have. We cannot use jokers in 2021. Although this is 4 tiles, it is not a kong. A kong is 4 matching tiles. This is 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 1. The same goes for the word news. We cannot use a joker in the word news. It is 4 tiles, but they are not matching tiles. It is 1 north, 1 east, 1 west, and 1 south. This is 14 tiles, and it's the year category, and you would say you have Mahjong. Now let's look at all the same matching numbers. My example gives it with 5s, but it says all the same number. So it doesn't have to be 5s. Remember, we had the numbers 1 through 9. We're going to look at this hand. And again, the first question you ask yourself is how many suits? How many colors? 1, 2, 3. In this example, they have dragons also. So you must use the matching dragon to the suits that you're using. So let's start off. Remember, it's all the same number. We don't have to use 5s. I decided to use 8s. And I'm beginning my hand with 8 BAMs. It doesn't have to be BAMs. You can use dots or cracks, but I used 8 BAMs. Now it says I need a pair of matching dragons. Here is the suit. The suit is BAMs and the dragon is green. The next thing I need is 3 5s in BAMs or cracks or dots. But since I already used BAMs, I'm going to use dots, and I need a pung of 8s. I decided to use the number 8. I have to use 8s. Then I need a pair of the matching dragon to this suit, and it is white or soap. And finally, I need 3 more of the number I chose, which was 8s, in the unused suit. We used BAMs, we used dots, our final suit is cracks. And then I need a pair of dragons to match those cracks. And in this case, it is the red dragon. Let's talk about our final category. The 7th category on our card, that is a sample card, is called Directions on a Compass and the Mighty Dragon. So in that category, you're using the tiles, the wind tiles, and the dragon tiles. And in that category, we have flowers. Most categories include flower tiles, and remember, flower tiles are suit neutral. The other tiles that are suit neutral are your joker and your winds, and your white dragon, when used as a 0, goes with any suit. So let's make this hand right here. You need a pair of norths. You need a pung of easts. Remember, a pung, we can use jokers if we had to. Even though they're not numbers, they're letters, we can still use jokers. We can't use jokers with the 2 norths, that's a pair. Then we need 4 flowers. And remember, the numbers on the flowers are insignificant. It's just 4 flowers. We could have used 4 jokers here, or 1 joker if we didn't have 4 flowers. West, a pung of west, and finally we need a pair of souths. No jokers with a pair. Again, on completing this hand, you would then say you have Mahjong and you would win the hand. I hope this video helped you out in understanding the card. Again, I am using a sample card today. This is not the National Mahjong League card, but it is quite similar. They have different titles for the categories, but very similar. The game of Mahjong has many rules and rituals, from how to deal the tiles and how to play. Just like chess, rummy, or Monopoly have rules and steps. I recommend ordering the National Mahjong League card. It will make it much easier for you to understand. Regular play and constant practice is the only way to develop your pattern recognition skills to a higher level to playing the game of Mahjong. If you have any questions or suggestions for videos, please ask it below or email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com. That's Mahjong Class, Mahjong spelled with 2 G's, @yahoo.com. Also, if you like my teaching style, come learn how to play Mahjong from me. You can take lessons from me at Mahjong Class, or check me out on Facebook or my webpage, Mahjong Class. If you like this video, subscribe for more and click the bell for notifications.